Before the video begins, I have recently partnered up with Jerseys Made Easy. Based in Kitchener, Ontario, and catering to your potential jersey needs, Jerseys Made Easy is sure to have your team playing in style. From custom designs to blank jerseys, this is definitely a company that you can trust. With straightforward pricing and no hidden fees, make Jerseys Made Easy your go-to today. Just by clicking the link below, you can not only support me with a purchase, but also guarantee a jersey made right. Some players throughout this unexpected pause have already announced that they were bowing out gracefully and hanging up the skates for good. But even still, there are those select few left that have consistently left us guessing on whether or not they'll be back for next season, whenever that is. In this video, I'm going to go over 5 players that could very well be turning the page and moving on sooner rather than later. And with that, here are 5 NHL players that could retire. Following a subpar performance in the Lone Star State, Perry, if he returns, will definitely be due for a bounce-back season. With 5 goals in 57 games played, this previous Hart Trophy winner, who once tallied 50 goals, has seemingly had a brush with Father Time. But for Perry, he's had a career of around 15 years that he can be proud of looking back on, as his sophomore season to start wasn't bad at all. As a forward, captured the Stanley Cup as a 21-year-old. And besides the Hart, he earned for his remarkable performance in the 2010-2011 season, Pears also walked away with the Rocket Richard Trophy. Capping that off with a handful of gold medals won for Team Canada, Perry, if he does retire, has a legacy to be proud of. Currently set to become a free agent this summer, Perry could be an attractive low-risk bargain for any team looking to add some experience. After the trade deadline came and went, Thornton made it blatantly clear that he was disappointed he wasn't picked up by a contender. As previous teammate Patrick Marleau made his way east to Pittsburgh, Jumbo Joe couldn't shake the feeling that he was missing his chance. A legitimate chance to chase Lord Stanley, something that the San Jose Sharks know a lot about, as Thornton throughout his 15 years with the Sharks has only seen his team exempt from the postseason on one occasion, and throughout all others he was forced to succumb to defeat. But sadly for the previous Art Ross and Hart recipient, after only 7 goals and 70 games played last season, the 40-year-old may be faced with a real dilemma if a contending team doesn't begin to show interest once free agency begins. At 43 years of age and the oldest player currently in the league, Big Z has been a bruiser for the Bruins now for close to 2 decades. Besides captaining the Stanley Cup winning team of 2011, Chara has exceeded all expectations and proven that abnormally tall defensemen can really be a thing. Following a stellar season of 50 points in 80 games played, Chara walked away with the Norris Trophy in 2009, but despite all of the other accolades and honors the defenseman has earned, it still doesn't take away the fact that he's now nearing the end of his career. But despite being over 4 centuries old, Chara has still been able to be effective for Boston, as he's mentored younger defensemen coming in, such as Charlie McAvoy. And for Chara, it's almost been implied that he could remain a Bruin cheaply for the foreseeable future, and therefore, for the Blue Liner, the possibility of a second Stanley Cup just might keep him in Beantown longer. Following a very peculiar and unexpected slew of events in Winnipeg, Byfuglien was finally able to cut ties recently with the Jets. And it was during that time, while nursing an unreported injury, that Big Buff was reportedly contemplating retirement already. At 35 years of age, this Stanley Cup champ has nothing to hang his head about, if he hangs up the skates. Following multiple All-Star appearances and several 50-point seasons, the multifaceted Minnesotan would definitely go out with a bang. And considering the fact that most of his career was spent as a Jet, combined with the strangeness of the circumstances in Manitoba, Byfuglien could be fixing to call it a career before long. Sadly for Jimmy Howard, this could be the end of the line for the netminder altogether. Following a disastrous season in the Motor City, while finishing with a .882 save percentage and a 4.20 goals against average, the 36-year-old will most likely be calling it quits before next season. With Detroit currently in rebuilding mode and the goaltender's contract for next season still non-existent, it's pretty apparent at this point that Howard will be at the least parting ways with the Red Wings. Given that he's only played for Detroit since being drafted by them in 2003, and his lackluster performance last season, it would be very surprising to see Howard again between the pipes professionally. Regardless, for the New York native who has made multiple All-Star appearances and once captured a gold medal with Team USA, his career is still something to be proud of.